放在这边。
Ladies and gentlemen, Dharma brothers and sisters, Sanghas and Lamas, welcome to the Intrafaith Dialogue, Loving Kindness and Compassion. Shortly, we'll begin with the Intrafaith Dialogue, and having here live with us, we have from Theravada, Venerable B. Saranankara Mahatera, Chief Adhikarana Sanghanayaka of Malaysia. Welcome. Together with from Mahayana, Venerable Fa Guang, Venerable Sri Fa Guang, prominent Mahayana scholar, Sangha. Ladies and gentlemen, the Interfaith Dialogue will have also His Holiness, the 42nd Sakya Trizin-Ratna Vajra Rinpoche, throne holder of 950 years unbroken Sakya lineage. His Holiness Ratna Vajra Rinpoche will be joining us for the live Interfaith Dialogue, commencing in about 10 more minutes from now. Here's a little background on Theravada Venerable Saranankara Mahathera, Chief Adhikarana Sanghanayaka of Malaysia. Our Venerable B. Saranankara Mahathera arrived in Kuala Lumpur from Sri Lanka back in 1984. With a passion for social welfare service, Venerable founded Iti Siri Jayanti Welfare Organization back in 1991, which then started a free clinic, free tuition classes, and a metta home. In 1996, he renovated the Sri Lanka Buddhist Temple, Kuala Lumpur. Since then, Venerable has accomplished much more. Venerable also organized the yearly Educare program with the Sri Jayanti Sunday Dharma School, which provides essential school items to needy Malaysian students. And now we move on to Venerable Sri Phagwang, who was born in the historic state of Malaysia, Malacca. 1990, Venerable Sri Phagwang received ordination under Venerable Sri Miaohua in Zigui, Fozi, Singapore. Venerable Sri Phagwang furthered his Buddhist studies in Taiwan, Yuanguang Buddhist Institution, and also learned Chinese calligraphy with a great Chinese calligrapher, Venerable Shi Benhui. In 1999, Venerable Sri Phagwang received higher ordination in Thailand. 2000, Venerable Sri Phagwang spent 13 years in Komazawa University of Tokyo in Japan to further his Buddhism doctorate research. 2001, Venerable Sri Phagwang held his personal art exhibition in Taiwan, Foshan University, exhibiting his works on Chinese calligraphy and paintings. His art pieces were used for fundraising in charity. In 2013, upon completion of his doctorate studies in Japan, Venerable Sri Phagwang returned to his hometown, the historic Malacca. Then he re-established Malacca's Zigui Fozi with consensus from his senior venerable. Wenxi Phagwang studied Sanskrit, Tibetan, German, and Japanese language. He is fluent in English, Chinese, Malay, and Teochew languages. Ladies and gentlemen, shortly you get to witness the dialogue between Venerable Sri Phagwang together with Venerable Saranankara Mahathera, Chief Adhikarana Sanghanayaka of Malaysia, and of course with His Holiness, the 42nd Ratna Raja Rinpoche, throne holder of 950 years unbroken Sakya lineage. And a little bit background on Holiness. His Holiness Ratna Raja Rinpoche is one of Tibetan Buddhism's most highly qualified teachers, having received all the major empowerments, transmission, and teaching directly from his father, Gongma Trichen Rinpoche, the 41st Sakya throne holder and head of the teachers of the Sakya tradition. Following in the footsteps of his forefathers, His Holiness is renowned for the purity of his transmission, always taking great care to offer to his disciples the teaching as he faithfully received them. To the great fortune of his non-Tibetan speaking students, His Holiness is also fluent in English, giving them a direct access to his teachings with wisdom and compassion. His Holiness continues to regularly transmit numerous empowerments and teachings at renowned Buddhist institutes such as the Sakya Center, which is the main center of the entire Sakya sect, Sakya Institute, the Zongzar Institute, Sakya College, Tantric College, International Buddhist Academy, Sakya Nunnery Rinchen Choling, College for Sakya Nunnery Mandawala, and countless other school centers and monasteries all over the world. A great, exciting dialogue awaits all of us here, ladies and gentlemen, and approximately about 10 more minutes, we'll begin with the dialogue commencing with the three special guests, two venerables and His Holiness, commencing in about 10 more minutes from now. Ladies and gentlemen, can we all be upstanding and welcome His Holiness, the 42nd Sakya Trichin, coming into the hall right now.
Om Mani Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Om Mani Padme Hum. 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 Om Mani Padme Hum.
Ladies and gentlemen, we would like to welcome from Rajana, His Holiness the 42nd Sakya Trijin Ratna Raja Rinpoche, throne holder of the 950 years unbroken Sakya lineage, His Holiness Ratna Raja Rinpoche, together with the Theravada Venerable B. Saranankara Mahathera Chief Adhikarana Sanghanayaka of Malaysia. And from Mahayana, we have Venerable Fa Guang, Venerable Sri Fa Guang, prominent Mahayana scholar, Sangha. Together with us, here we have the Loving Kindness and Compassion Intrafaith Dialogue. We'd now like to begin with the dialogue and hand over to Brother Lim and Brother Jim Hart, our moderator for today.
Good evening, Venerable Sarankaran. Good evening, Your Holiness. Good evening, Venerable Fa Guang Fa Sư. And welcome everybody. 欢迎来到这个会场。那 Today is Intrafaith 佛教论坛. It's very simple. We will have about 5 questions. After that, at the end of 15 minutes, we will have a question and answer session. So our volunteers will pass out the white paper. So we will have some question online and the papers will pass to Brother Jim Hua. Then we will pass on the question to the panel speaker. So without further ado, we will have the first topic. So dear Venerable, Buddhist centers may not just be a Dharma centers. So can we reinvent them to also include social, economic, and physical activities for the society? We would like to, anybody can answer first. We invite Holiness first for the question. Buddhist centers are not just Dharma centers. Can we reinvent them to include social, economic, and physical activities for the society? Buddhist centers. Yeah.
So first, greetings and blessings to Venerable Masters and all the Sangha members and Dharma brothers and sisters. Actually, Dharma centers are the place where we can do Dharma practice in groups. And actually, Dharma practice not just means doing prayers or receiving teachings. Also, one can do like social activities, because I think these activities are known as compassion in action, Dharma in action. So anyway, with the right motivation, if any activity that can really help and benefit the sentient beings with the right motivation, and also from the Dharma practitioner's point of view, it is important to benefit others while keeping one's own Buddhist vows. Based on this, then one should try to benefit others in many different ways, and also by doing many different activities to help and benefit the sentient beings.
Thank you, Your Holiness. Thank you so much. We would like to invite Venerable Fa Guang. Venerable, you leave the chance to. It's okay.
Thank you, thank you, Holiness, our Bante, and all the Maha Sanghas here. And the question is about Buddhist centers. What can we do in our Buddhist centers? As our Our Holiness has said this is a place to practice and also to interact with other people, that as long as we follow our precepts, at least 5 precepts, the Panchasila, the 5 precepts. And actually in Malaysia, Buddhist temples in Malaysia, they also have many other activities like Sunday classes, which is classes for the younger generation. Actually, is also benefiting the younger generation. Like Mahayana schools, we have Buddhist class for the youth and teenager. And this is the way we serve the society. And as the question asked, Buddhist centers are not just Dharma centers. Can we reinvent them into also include social and economics and physical activities for society? Of course, we can reinvent them into other purpose, but I have to be very careful. You can be very popular and very unholy at the same time. So we have to be careful. Buddhism practice inner practice. And we hope that the people will come to practice the inner practice. And actually many people from the big society, big country, big cities, they are looking for peace. And actually Buddhist centers can provide a place for them to find peace. And of course, we have to teach our younger generation to also be in the society. As you know, Buddhist is not a practice of running away from reality. We are facing reality and we are solving the problem in reality. We can have dreamland, but reality is reality. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we invite Venerable Saramakana to give his thought.
Thank you very much, Holiness, as well as Venerable Popcorn. Respected Mahasangha, brothers and sisters in them. I think the Lembuchi as well as for the Pakwan, given how the Dhamma center should be catered for all the activities. My personal belief, of course, I totally agree. Venerable Center for the spiritual development, inner quality, inner development, inner spirituality. Definitely, we can't run away from there. They must have it. In the other hand, I personally believe it. We have some sort of, in the commercial language, it's a 7-Eleven concept. Just name it, you can get it. But what you mentioned, there's a boundary as well. There's some certain guideline as well. There is people come to the Buddhist center, definitely learning Dhamma, the spiritual gaining. There is some people coming to the center for meditation purpose, relate into the Buddhist activities. Some people just come to get the knowledge, teaching of the Buddha. Some of them, being the Buddhist center, they're seeking some social activities, welfare activities, such as charity activities, etc. There is people coming, some other purposes as well. A lot of people get the bad experience being coming to Buddhist centers as well. That beyond our control, anybody can come in and out. The Buddhist center public place. We can't say you so and so can come in, so and so cannot come in. It's a public place. Anybody can, any purposes they can enter. Somebody is asking for the help. Some of the people having their own view to get the certain bad experience as well in the Buddhist center. Because the devotees are when we communicate many things, some of the people try to sell some certain product. Some people try to introduce some certain things. Some certain people, they try to, many things are going on, some sort of trading as well in the Buddhist center. But the important things, I personally believe we should not, sometime, most of the occasion, we try to, you'll find meditation is a wonderful practices. But person is having a lot of fear or wrong view about meditation. I personally believe it, leave it him for alone. Let him to observe how other meditators are behavior that make influence. Some people are interested for Dhamma discussion. Let them to come freely for Dhamma discussion. When you observe the scene, automatically they themselves want to come in. Whatever activities, either social activities, welfare activities, or Dhamma activities, eventually they go into the other activities as well. When they're comfortable to place, then the right attitude, maintain practitioners, that a great influence by our own action, nothing else. If you able to show good example, that's the important thing. Sad to say, certain organization, management, they're so much try to be very, very, the fanatic method, try to handle the situation. It's not practical. The innocent child come, they're making a lot of noise. That's a childhood. We have to understand nature of the child. Another person coming for the other things. Kindness, loving words make changes any one of you, any of the people. I strongly believe it. If you have a great compassion, loving kindness, the good thought within your own mind, it'll make influence other person to follow your way. I personally believe it. Buddhist center should cater many activities as much as you're able to do it, but within guideline. Sunday school, you have to understand, Sunday school children, you ask them to meditate all the time, they are not going to be listen to you. Sometimes, most of the time, we have forgotten our childhood. That's why I try to certain things we try to implement without realizing nature, the interest in the innocent young child. Once you come over the child, certain things they mention, very hard for them to return back. They get a lot of disappointment as well as for the other things. I personally believe it. The management had to cater as much as activities can. The management had to realize certain activities, it draw into the attention in the whatever activities doing. Eventually, they go very strong, very much into the Dhamma practice as well. That's important.
Thank you so much, Venerable. Next, we are going for the next question. And also be reminded, everybody online and on the floor, you can write your questions. We will start the questionnaire session on 9:15. So the next question, we will proceed. We are seeing gradual and consistent decline among the younger generation in the participation of Buddhist activities. How do we attract the younger generation to Buddhism? May we invite Your Holiness. We are seeing gradual and consistent decline among the younger generation in the participation of Buddhist activities. How do we attract the younger generation to Buddhist?
So the most important thing is to keep or to preserve the authentic teachings of the Buddha So we cannot change the teaching, or we cannot change the Buddha Dharma, but we can change the way we present, the way we explain to people, especially to the younger generation, especially nowadays. We can use modern example to explain the authentic teachings of the Buddha, and also we can use advanced technology to explain the authentic teachings in a modern way, or so that it will be easier to understand. And also, it is important to teach according to their own language, according to their own culture, but at the same time, to preserve the authentic teaching. That's very important.
Thank you, Your Holiness. Now may we invite Venerable Fa Guang Fa Si to give a thought or two on this topic. And Venerable Fa Guang Fa Si, would you like to give the chance first?
Actually, you should go to Bante first, and because I'm very, very junior in the in the Sangha, so is a senior. But anyway, I will start this first, because as our Holiness say, we have to preserve the authentic teaching of Buddha. That is something that we have to do. Many of us are trying to change, maybe attract. When they go to churches, they see churches, people are singing choir, and they're using, sometimes they use some technique from the other religion, which hope, in their mind, they hope that they can attract more people into Buddhism, which is sometimes wrong. Then we will become a milk added water with a color but no flavor. So I think there are some decline, maybe, because we are not working together. If all tradition can work together as Buddhists, not as which school, we can achieve higher. Because there are many misunderstanding or understand or not. There are some so-called misunderstanding among Buddhists. Some Buddhists will see that, oh, monk should be like this and not like that. Sometimes we are actually setting bad example to the children. When the children, as a son, as a children, as our Bante just now said, that children are children. We are asking children to sit for 3 hours. We as adults cannot achieve sometime. But children have to be children. So when we see decline, what is the problem? Sometimes we are enforcing something that we can't do onto somebody else. And we are telling them that is practice, which is wrong. I think that if different traditions come together, as Buddha said in the Lotus Sutra, in Chinese, Buddha said, after Buddha Parinibbana, how do we propagate the Dhamma? He said, 入如来摄，者如来依，作如来作。如来摄者，一切众生中大慈悲心事；如来依者，柔和忍辱心事；如来作者，一切法空事，而以不懈怠心来弘扬。所以 this is said that when we, after Buddha Parinibbana, how we as a Buddhist, we should enter Buddha's room. It is said Buddha's room, and put on Buddha's garment and sit on Buddha's seat. It was said that what is Buddha's room? Compassionate is Buddha's room. Compassionate to each and every sentient being. Compassionate. 一切众生中大慈悲心事。Buddha garment is tolerance. Sometimes we don't even have that quality. When the child was running in front of us, we expect them to understand that they have to be like an adult. It's very hard to ask a cat to love a dog. A cat is a cat, a dog is a dog. Sometimes some cats and dogs in our society, they don't even know who they are. Because some of our people put clothes on our cat, put clothes on our dog. They don't know whether they are dog or they are human. They're confused. But we cannot enforce children to be an adult. They have to go through that stage. So we, as an adult, how are we or what should we do? In Malaysia, there's a group of Buddhist youth. They are actually doing well. In various areas, they help children's giving classes to the children. But sometime, somewhere, something is wrong. When too much lay people teaching, some lay people will think they are greater than the monk. They are greater than the sanghas. They know much more than the sanghas. Sometimes we have to have the balance. So when we see decreasing, the problem is we are not coming together. We should come together much more. Then we will see that there will be changes. Hopefully, I always tell people, because I'm a Malaysian, I'm born in Malacca, but I ordained in Singapore, study in Japan. And I hope one day Malaysia will be a place for all tradition to come and teach. All tradition. As our Bante say, 7-Eleven, what you want, we have. Malaysia is a very unique country. We have all tradition together. And today, I'm so happy as a junior monk, I have this opportunity to be with two seniors. So thank you.
May we invite Vero Saramankara to give a thought or two on how do we attract the younger generation to Buddhism.
Let me to share something. When I was a small kid, what is my interest? Why I used to go to temple? You think to meditate, to listen Dhamma, or doing charity? No. Not even any of the interests when I was a young child. Sunday school going, because the people are asked, the parents asked me to go. Of course, when you go there, of course, I meet some friends, The same time, we like to listen Jataka tales, the Buddhist stories. Of course, we are very interested. That's not the still main interest. My main interest was any cultural performance they having. I'm so keen about that. Any festival going on the temple, we are so happy about that. When those days, because when I'm talking about the 55, 57, 58, 59, when my childhood age, 1950, 58, 59, that time, I started to go to Sunday school. That time only very big screen. They show the film, the source. Our interest for that. But what type of show they are showing? They relate to moral. They relate to the Buddhist film. We are so keen about that. The message is there. The interests are creating. Listen to the Jataka tales. There is something. And if you are get involved for the young child for the cultural performance, drama, hymn singing, the interests are there. Then eventually, young child looking into the more other area. What is I personally believe it, Malaysia, as Venerable Puan mentioned, number of organizations doing very well, catering for the younger children. Then what are the things we had to do it? And other centers, what exactly Sunday school, very important activities for the young kids. When we start Sunday school Sentul, I do remember that those days go to the convent school, the primary, the children come to play into the temple. Then if you had anything left, whatever fruits, so I'll just pass to the children. They love to come and play around. Sometimes I purposely buy some sweet and pass to them and all those things. And also you have to careful. Sometimes, strange, they give the sweet, people doesn't like, and the parents, what type of men. We never mention anything, just come around. Then eventually some of the children, when we start Sunday school, we told them we are Sunday school is starting. If you are interested, you can come. Then one occasion I remember, behind our Bandabaru flat, the child bring the grandma or father or elder sister. They want to come into the temple Sunday. When we are starting time, that way, behind, even though people are behind our Bandabaru flat, they doesn't know this is the temple, this doesn't know, there's no activities during that particular period, much early they had, young child, it doesn't have it. Because today, I personally believe it, interests are changing, attitude children are changing as well. You can't expect your age, my age, today children going to be the same mentality, same attitude. Today got a lot of new developed, as Venerable mentioned. No harm using that, all those new things create interest in the young child, but driving force is much important. How selecting things very important. What are the things had to master planning very important. Those who are compassionate, those who are understand the nature of the child, nature of the young children, we had to understand as well. When the young child doesn't like to follow 30, 40 years old the person, 4 years, 5 years old child like to follow 6, 7, 8 years child. 8, 9 years old child doesn't like to follow 6 years or 5 years child. That's a very common things. Understand the situation. What we most of the sometimes we do it, lack of facilities, lack of teachers. We mix all the children into one. It's nobody interest. They said that they doesn't like to mix with the 6 year, 5 years old child with the 15 years old child. They can't communicate. They can't talk. They feel bored. And of course, young child like to mix with the elderly one. They definitely like it. But elder one is find, the not interest because the teacher cannot teach any text relate to the, grown up child age. Only can tell all the time the limited Jataka tales or whatever other things. And then the young elder child getting bored as well. Then what are they? Even though young, one child or two children, if you can get into separate activities, or if you're not create some, a lot of Buddhist story, a lot of the what called the documentary, we can find nowadays internet so much getting in that, introducing something. Then the Sati workshop is going on, very popular in certain Europe country. Sati means mindfulness. Mindfulness workshop is going for the young child. Young child, we close eye, breathing in and out. It's very popular certain Western country as well. Even though not mentioned in the, but the Buddhists, very easy. Sati means mindfulness. Mindfulness, how to get interest, your day-to-day work, your studies, your exam, your other activities. We can create such a way child to be interest as well. Of course, a lot of sacrifice, a lot of things we require to do it as well. But on the other hand, the youth activities. Youth activities, we have to give little space for them. Making certain proposal, they come, elderly people make a decision. No, this activities can't do this activity. This activity, rather than rejecting, you counter propose. Why not implement something, as Venerable mentioned, not very violent type of things? Why not implement certain things? Why not we discuss in the table rather than rejecting totally the innocent child proposal? Many occasions happen that way as well. They're coming with a very good, wonderful intention. I personally, I seen their interest, but sometimes the top management just push one away. Then the child, a youth, it never come again to the temple. You know, certain ways we have to discuss with them. If we have to come proposal something, we have to counter propose. Why not we have this type of way to handle this situation, this type of activities to create the interest in among your friends? Then they're going to listen as well. That kindness require, that understanding require. Then should be, I feel personally believe it, I think it'll work with your great metta.
Thank you so
Can
much.
I ask a question?
Sure, of course.
No,
Please, please.
I really want to ask Our Holiness, what is the first Buddhist text that Holiness read? The first Buddhist text.
Actually, we start learning Buddhism from young age, from very young age. So I don't remember exactly which Buddhist text I read. But when we are young, we focus more on reading and also memorizing. And then later we start to learn more on teaching and philosophy.
Abhidhamma, something like.
Yes, Abhidhamma, Madhyamika, and Parmana, and Parjana Paramita.
Interesting, because if see whether we can use our knowledge as a youth, we can guide the other youth to have interest in what we have gone through. Maybe, but in Mahayana tradition, we don't study sutras at all. We start from working in the temple, in the kitchen, serving food. You don't judge that by my size, but but you know, our Bante, Saranagara Bante also start very young age, around 8. So the main reason of the decreasing is maybe our approach, maybe the youth, because many Mahayana temple, Holiness, many Mahayana temple, we ask them to chant Amitofo, Amitayus. No, there's a better Pure Land there. You must go there. This is not good. This is very bad place. You must go there. And from young age, we will ask them to say, oh, you must eat vegetarian. No KFC. Oh, KFC, you kill. You cannot eat. So young people will be scared of, because once you become Buddhist, you know no meat, and you have to be, you hate this country, hate this place, must develop love for another place, which is better than this place. Then they are confused. For Mahayana, I think many Mahayana are very confused. For me, my understanding, but maybe we can teach them some text. I think Jataka is very good. Buddha Charita, when holiness can maybe guide us in the books that we can go through, maybe as from holiness experiences, that what is easier for our younger generation to maybe adapt.
Uh, actually, first I would like to say Vajrayana practice does not mean only rituals and empowerments, but to practice Vajrayana also, we need to study and contemplate and meditate on Vinaya teachings, and also, as I said before, Abhidhamma and Brahmana, Madhyamika, and Prajna Paramita. So therefore, it is kind of inclusive, not exclusive. Vajrayana is not exclusive. It includes Vinaya and Mahayana teaching, because we also say that actually Vajrayana is also part of Mahayana. Normally, according to our explanation, we say Mahayana has two types, Paramitayana and Vajrayana. So we also believe that Vajrayana is part of Mahayana, and also we need to study and practice the 6 parameters and 4 skillful means of gathering and others. And as Venerable said, the Jataka tells, or the foolish and wise sutra, or the Kamashataka, I think these are very important, especially for children or for any others who wish to understand through story, who wish to understand the meaning through stories. So for them, these stories are very meaningful, and also these stories are easy to understand, and also it can be applied into our daily life so that we can change into a better person with a better motivation.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Your Holiness and Venerables. All right, please be reminded, we will be having the Q&A session on 9:15. Now we proceed to the third questions. Current committees of most of the Buddhist centers are getting older, and some centers don't even have a second generation in place. How do we ensure the continuity of Buddhism in the future? In short, how do we ensure the continuity of Buddhism in the future? May we invite Bante, Chief, Venerable Chief, do we have this honor to you first? So the question is simple. The current committees are getting older, okay? Then how do we ensure the continuity of Buddhism in the future?
See, depend. Certain organization, they won't allow, not to say not allow. There is a lot of thing to being in the decision making. Those people are holding the post. of course, they don't want to give up. Keeping holding decision making, and they never able to influence or train others. That is happening. Of course, certain places, due to the various reasons, disappointment, some members, and turn back. I always believe it. Person walk into the center with a smiling, with a good intention. The perfectly innocent devotees coming into the center, they are okay. They are 100% pure. The innocent thought they maintaining, they want to learn to practice studies. Once they come in the place, there is some certain little innocent politics going on. One or two again make influence certain things. Then they get disappointed. Then they won't come back again. Certain people just joining either gang or either party, either section, they will continue. They say then other group is not happy, then able to make it disappoint. Of course, certain centers, the small group, they're asking always for certain activities to carry on, certain ways to raise the funds, whatever things, they doesn't like it, they won't turning as well. There's various reasons, but the common things what you had do it, if you ever give little free hand, little easy way to get alone, is the main, the purpose of the Buddhist center, spiritual center, religious center, of course, self-development, self-purification. But at the same time, those who are seniors, they never able to realize, they only try to managing like a corporate. It doesn't work in that way. Buddhist center is a corporate principle can apply, but use teaching of the Buddha into that. That's important. You can make the center attraction, clean, as well as for the little smile, the management side, the Sangha member side, or the monks or nuns, easily approachable. You must be friendly, little smile on your face. That is required. Most of the time, is a meditation class going on, or sometime while you're meditating, you have to be serious. Once you come up on meditation seat, you have to be normal, you have to be smile, you have to be not all the time little sour looking in your own face. We're not like we are serious practitioners in that manner, try to walk, the lifting and putting the leg very much the very weird way, people get frightened, but it's important things. What are the best thing to do it? I think we had to talk very friendly and just get them into the those who are newcomers. Especially Vesak period is a very, very wonderful period. Vesak is a catchment period, Vesak day, if we can, we are so busy doing many activities. We try to collect the money, we try to sell the oil lamp, we try to sell certain Buddha images and other flowers and etc. Try to get as much as money you can. Try to sell the food as much as you're able to do it. Actually, Vesak time, management, what you should do it. You be the ambassador. You must be the PR job, you must do it. Not the selling the counter, collecting money, writing and writing and writing. Some people, some centers having the number of millions. They're enjoying seeing the interest as well. They never invest any money for the youth development, children activities, other facilities to do it. What is the important thing? Vesak day, be giving something free. Vesak day not for the selling the food in the Buddhist center. Vesak day should give free food to the devotees. If they want to donate, let them to donate. That particular day also want to make money out of selling the food. I mean, of course, fund is interest. Same time, Vesak day is more meaning. We used to call our my young time. we call Dansala. Dansala means free food on the Vesak day. In the group of the youngsters get to the collect money from the village. We set up the beam, the drinking stall, drinking the soft drinks or coconut drinks, or another place they are giving certain kuehs, another place they're giving rice, etc. People are going around that period. Same time, Buddhist center, just Vesak day, just people coming, once a Buddhist, then if you not me, Vesak day Buddhist, if that particular day, if we able to talk to them nicely, definitely their interest going to be there. Just have personal touch, get into the interest. You talk one-to-one, spend little time on the day. Definitely you can find a lot of people. The Vesak day, we are not interested all those things. Vesak day only we interest how much donation we able to get it, or how much we able to raise this year. Must make sure must be more than last year, because the 3 years we couldn't get any donation because of the pandemic. The account is getting lower, or our interest not much getting. Then I have to make sure this time must get the more income into the society. Anyway, that of narrow. I mean, funds important, but at the same time, without people, Buddhist center going to be no meaning as well. I personally believe it. Vesak day, you talk to new people, you be little smile, make a lot of difference. Kindness make a lot of difference. Little smile, give the young child, or parents come with the children, give the leaflet. Sunday school going to start, Dhamma activities going to start, hymns class going to be there as well, Buddhist hymns, just people definitely we have to work a little bit hard to get new people into interest. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Venerable. Now, on the same topic, current committees or the management of most of the Buddhist centers are getting older. If the Venerable or Holiness agree with this, so how do we ensure the continuity of the Buddhism in the future? Same question. May we invite Your Holiness?
Yes, the future lies on the younger generation. Actually, any religion, especially here, this time we are talking about Buddhism, and Buddhism has been passed from generations to generations for thousands of years. So now, this present time is very challenging time, lots and lots of distraction, lots and lots of different channels that can distract our mind, not only the mind of the younger generation, but also the mind of seniors and adults. So in this challenging time, especially for the younger generation, I think the first it is important to raise the children in a Buddhist environment. If one is staying in a place where there's no Buddhist environment, where there's no centers, where there's no Sangha, where there's no Buddhist followers, etc., then it is very difficult to raise this child in this family. Although these families members are Buddhist, but it is more difficult. So in such situation, parents need to put more effort, extra effort, to raise the child in a Buddhist environment. And also, it is important I believe it is important for every Buddhist to go to holy places like Bodh Gaya, and other holy places. I think every Buddhist should go there once in their lifetime. There are many Buddhists who have never been there, and there are Buddhists who've been there one time or many times. Many times it's better, but at least every Buddhist should go to Bodh Gaya and other holy places. We normally say 4 major holy places and 4 minor holy places. So these places, like a place where Buddha was born, Lumbini, the place where Prince Siddhartha was born, and place where he attained Buddhahood in Bodh Gaya, the place where he first and wheel of Dharma in Saranath Varanasi, and also where he entered into Mahabharata Nirvana in Kushinagar, and also Sankisa, where he descended from the heavenly realm after seeing the mother, place called Sankisa, and also where he did most summer retreat, a place called Saraswati, and also where he prolonged his life and did other noble activities, a place called Vaishali, and also a place called Rajgir, which is near the Vulture Peak. So these places are important to go. Buddha himself said in the future, the followers should go to these holy places. So the parents or the relatives should take their children to the holy places and also try to have a good impression about visiting these holy places. And also, as our vendor said, it is important to respect the children's idea. We cannot disregard children or younger generation. Sometimes they have better idea than seniors or adults because of their way of thinking is more suitable to the modern time. And also they can think better way to suit this present time. And also, as Pender said, it is important to have warm hospitality. The seniors should welcome the younger generation with open mind, and also to to have respect and to show kind gesture. And also, I think there are many other ways to attract or to influence them into the Buddhist path or into the Buddha Dharma.
All right, thank you, Your Holiness. May we aspire to visit the holy place. So how do we ensure the continuity of the Buddhism in the future? May we invite Venerable Fa Guang.
Buddha taught us birth, aging, illness, and death. That is truth of Buddhism, that every one of us will be old one day. But how do we attract the younger generation into Buddha Dhamma? It's very important. As I said just now, Malaysia, we have a Buddhist youth group. They are doing very good job. And also, how do we attract younger generation into temples? As Bhante said, many people, when they went into a temple, they see too much seriousness that scares them off. They go in and everybody have very good, very strict face. And everybody just go in and just the other way out. But if we can just accept people, that all people are the same. We are not born to know ABC. There's a book called Write Better and Speak Better by Reader's Digest. The first word is not everyone, nobody is born to know ABC. Everybody born knowing no language, not even anything. Oh, but how do we attract younger generation? We want more youth into our society and into our community. That is truth. Although it is aging, sometimes our senior people are too senior to share to the junior, especially in certain Buddhist society. When they are so strong to the power, they don't release, and they will hold it to the day they die. And the younger people, when they come in, they have nothing to do. They have no responsibility. So they will just go in and go out. That's why I say that we all must work together. Now is the time that we have to come together. Everything is so convenient now. We have Googles. You can just put Buddha in, Buddha. You have all the resources. You have YouTube. YouTube, you put one person's name in, you can see anything. That's why it's so convenient that we have all this. But what we lost is our faith. We lost our faith in Buddha Dhamma. Sometimes we don't know what is the basic teaching of Buddha. We have three traditions here. For my understanding, Theravada is the fundamental of all teaching, the Four Noble Truths. 苦集灭道 in Chinese, suffering. I don't know how to say it in English lah. As you all know that I'm not English educated. I am Malay educated. I come here speaking my broken English, asking dog to love cats. But if we have strong foundation, then Chinese Mahayana is the second stage. Put what you learn into action. Then when you can fulfill that, Theravada, Mahayana, Vajrayana is another level. The truth of Mahayana teaching, when I call it the truth, is that everybody can play a part as a Bodhisattva in practice. In Lotus Sutra, it says that in the Lotus Sutra, it said that 妙法莲华教菩萨法佛所护念. The title of Lotus Sutra is 妙法莲华, the Sat Dhamma Pundarika, the teaching to the Bodhisattva and protected by all Buddhas. 佛所护念. All the Buddhas will protect this teaching. And it's our understanding that Buddha, the last 8 years of Buddha's life, Buddha was preaching, propagating the Lotus Sutra, Saddhamma Pundarika Sutta. It is said that we all must play a Bodhisattva way. In that sense that we all must understand each other. Bodhisattva is a person who practice, not condemning, but practice. Many of us in Malaysia now, we don't understand Buddhism much. We say Buddhism, no meat. Or some people say Buddhism, 1 meal a day. Buddhism, monks should not touch money. Buddhism is not wearing shoe. They only know what tradition is, but they don't know the teaching. In our center, I always remind myself to address every Sangha as Sifu. In Chinese means teacher and father, Sifu. I say, any monks who come in, they are our Sifu. We just address them as Sifu. That's why sometimes I forget names. I just call everybody the same. So everybody is Sifu. And in our Chinese tradition, our teacher taught us what to do work more than to chant, to work in the community, to do in the temple, do cleaning. As for the start, that is very important because all of us have very big ego, thinking that we know everything, which is wrong. That's why we are losing our youth, because youth has the idea where we cannot accept. We don't know that modern days they have Facebook, they have YouTube, they have Googles. We say, oh, you cannot see all this, that will be very bad. Of course, there are the negatives. There are negatives among all this internet, but there are also positive. You know, sometimes when I want to listen to Dalai Lama talk, I just put Dalai Lama in YouTube. Dalai Lama will come out. Not in person, but in image. But we always said, no, don't. This will taint your mind. Yeah, only those tainted people will think that everything we do are tainted. If you have pure mind, what you do will bring pureness. That's why the first question asked was, temple can be reinvented into other things? Of course can. But basic, we have to know our basic. The 5 precepts, Panchasila is all, among all tradition, Panchasila is basic. People always tell me, Sifu, Panchasila, when I observe Panchasila, I cannot do many things. I say, there are only 5 things that you can't do. There are so many other things that you can do. Look at the bright side. Only 5 things. But also, the 5 things is ask you to think whether you should do or not do. For example, a cobra is attacking your son. Will you allow the cobra to bite your son? Or you will just, cannot say, because panatipata veramani sikhapadang samadhiyami. No. Then how? Maybe in your mind you will think that, oh, because my son's past karma, he bite a cobra before. This life he will be bitten by a cobra. Then fair. It's not true. That is not realistic in our day. How do we attract younger people? We have to first accept them. Listen to them. And also another thing, aging is very important because everyone die. Everyone die. Oh, even Buddha, in the 16th chapter of Lotus Sutra, Buddha said, I die. I have to go into parinibbana because of all sentient beings. Why? To show the impermanence, so that we have to keep our time. You know, everybody is losing time, not ending time. So that is very important. When somebody, family dies, it is important for us to care the living. Then the old one die, the young one alive, then bring them to the temple. Then you have chance. As Bhante said, Vesak is very good. Vesak is the time where all gathered. And our holiness told us that holy places, bring them charge, let them charge positive energy. See how Buddha walk on earth. I went to the Vulture Peak. You know, my size, 165 kg. I climbed to the top of the Vulture Peak. I cried. You see how compassionate our Buddha is. During those times where there is no road, Buddha walked through there. That's why when we bring our devotees to the holy site, it actually rises the faith within them, which is sometimes asleep. We have to awaken our sleeping self to understand that Buddhism is very important. Then the youth will come in. The youth will come in. Of course, they will come in, but we have to open the door and not keeping them shut. Thank you.
All right, thank you, all the three panels. Now we have like 10 minutes to 9:15. Can we have a quick one? In the current times of insufficient economic and time resources, can Dharma activities be reinvented to embrace technology? To be exact, can empowerment, long Bodhisattva vows, and ordination of monks be done online? I should repeat again. This is the fifth question on this paper. In current times of insufficient economic and time resources, can Dharma activities be reinvented to embrace technology? To be exact, can empowerment, long Buddhist vows, and ordination of monks be done online? Can we, any of, maybe we should, this honor to Your Holiness.
Habit, once you hold the mic, you don't stop talking.
Maybe we shall invite Your Holiness.
Oh,
Okay.
if everything goes online, we must first tear down our temples. Then no use temple. Temple can be convenience store, 7-Eleven. Turn it into a real 7-Eleven. For myself, online, there are something that you should go online, like teachings. Like if we want to listen to certain teaching by our holiness, because holiness did a teaching somewhere, but not everywhere. So if we want to listen to certain teaching, we can go online and listen. But ordination, receiving our vows, I don't think we should do it online. You know, I have one very bad experience, but holiness. When I was teaching online during the COVID time, I said, how come I can't see the students' face? Then they were all put on certain image, some other images. Then I said, can you all show me your face? They're on their light, their camera, and I see them. One of them is holding a bowl of noodle. You know, it's important to be in life, so the seriousness is different. It's different. When you are watching a TV, you can put on your leg, you can, you know, but you are in front of the Sangha, even your leg pain also, tiam. You cannot say anything. But in the house, you will off it and sleep. But here, no choice. Once you come in, unless we all go back, you have to be here. So online, they have positive and there are negatives. But ordination, we need to be live with our venerables. That is very important. And sometimes they give Panchasila or 8 precepts online, which I don't encourage. I think that we have to have life to be with our Bantes or our lamas or holiness or our sifu, so that the mental is different, totally different. Do you believe that when you are in Bodh Gaya, you don't have to do anything. You don't have to chant anything. By just sitting down there, to be there, you feel different. You'll be very happy. Although I'm not saying that if you go Kushinagara, just pretend that you are the reclining Buddha. No, that is very bad. We should not do that in Kushinagara. But in Bodh Gaya, around the stupa, you can just find a place. If you can find a place, just sit down there. You feel something that you don't have, or you have, you lost it, and you will find it there. That's why life and looking at pictures are different. To be there. Oh, so, we have holiness here and our Bande here. Do we feel happy? We are much happier than looking through screens. Right? Wrong?
Yes.
Right. Thank you.
Thank you. So this is the question. Can Dharma activities to be reinvented to embrace technology? May we invite Your Holiness?
As as Venerable said, Buddhist vows, I think should receive in person. Because through online, one of the reason is, as Venerable said, there's no seriousness. Not only that, I think it is difficult to say whether one can receive the vow or not through online. So it is better to receive in person. And also, but at the same time, if we can use like the online to explain the Buddha's Dharma or teaching, we can explain, but we can explain to others through social media or through online, so people can understand. People can understand, and it can help them to know the meaning. And also nowadays, in modern time is very precious. Many people, they don't get time. And also there's people are in different places, in different countries, different continent. So it is not easy to find teacher at all these places or everywhere. So through online, you can reach more people, more places at the same time. In one way, it's kind of similar to the Buddha's direct teaching. Actually, we say one of the Buddha's voice, the quality of Buddha's voice is that Buddha's, when Buddha teach, his voice can hear by near ones and also by those who are staying far from the Buddha, all can hear at the same volume. So this is one of the Buddha's voice quality. And there are also many other qualities, but this is one of them. So similarly, through online, people can hear the same volume of the voice of the teacher, whether they are near or far, or whether they are in a different country or different continent, still they can hear the same volume. So in this way, it's similar. So anyway, giving teachings, especially the basic teachings, I think it's okay to give basic teachings, especially the basic teachings through online.
Thank you, Your Holiness. Now may we invite Venerable Bante. Can Dharma activities be reinvented to embrace technology?
Of course, I think the sufficient answers are given. Maybe definitely, I am not sure how we're going to do ordination online. Maybe other activities, but as fully supported for the Meribah Convention, of course, personal touch very important. Appearing eye contact, face contact, body for the seeing each other's, that's another wonderful way to share certain things. Of course, it'll happen to be, as Pakom mentioned, online things sometimes, most of the time, sometimes it's online, but actually the person is not there, nobody concentration because of just participating just on it. Other side, they think people are participating, actually not. Maybe same time, same other activities, and the children making certain activities at home, but it's really concentration not going to be there online. Of course, it's a certain activities, if your environment peaceful, fully concentration for the listening. I know number of classes are going online. Even some of the holding for the diploma, BA classes, even the master and the PhD, etc. thing, online people are doing as well for the various part of the places. That's different. But the Buddhist practices or spiritual practices, person contact, person to person, each other, eye contact as well as each other's, definitely require. Definitely ordination online definitely can't do it for the teacher and the pupil or the disciple. B2B, there are certain way to learn many things as well as for the going through process each and every tradition. They're almost the same thing. There's a learning process. There's a period to observe the teacher to the disciple. All of many things are on. I think definitely, yeah, certain activities we can do online, certain activities you can't do online. But, of course, a lot of youngsters are used to online. Not only youngsters, even the adults also, they like to, after pandemic, they're still comfortable to be at home, listen to certain things, fine. But even the YouTube, lot of, as the Venerable mentioned, lot of Dhamma talk, lot of other teaching you can learn YouTube as well, But personally, if you can center, make it live, the people are participating, people are coming, people are taking part in the activities, it'll become more life in the center, Thank you.
Thank you, Venerable Bante. And now, dear all three Venerable panels, we have reached the time limit for all the questions we prepared before. Now we move forward to the questions online and from the floor. May we invite Brother Jim Hua.
Dear Venerables, thank you. We received a few, excuse my voice, I lost my voice 3 days ago. We received a few questions from the floor. Two is very similar, and this question is directed to Holiness. Okay, how can a lay practitioner practice effectively and help all the beings enough during old age?
How can a lay practitioner practice effectively and help all beings enough during old age?
I repeat the question. How can a lay practitioner practice effectively and help all beings enough during old age? As a lay practitioner.
How to practice, right? Actually, there are different ways to practice. The physical practice, verbal practice, and mental practice. The most important practice is mental practice. Most important is our mind. So, although physically, when one becomes old, it's difficult to do many physical activities, but if our mind is strong, if our mind is clear, then still we can do many Dharma practice. We can do the main Dharma practice very effectively through our mind, because the main practice should come from our mind, not just from our body and speech. For example, if one is doing circumambulation to a temple, if our body is doing the circumambulation, but if our mind is thinking about business, family members, or any other worldly things, then although our physical body is doing circumambulation with great effort, but still our action of circumambulation will not be effective because mind is not there when the body is doing the circumambulation. Mind is distracted, mind is thinking something else. So that time, this circumambulation will not be effective. But when one becomes old, when one cannot walk, or when one has difficulty in walking, then one cannot do circumambulation as young people. But if your mind is strong and clear, then you can do many effective Dharma practices. So everything depends on mind and the motivation.
Thank you, Holiness. Venerable Fakwang and Chief Venerable, would you like to elaborate further on this question, or you want to move on to the next question?
It actually depends on who you are. If a person is working and he has to raise his children, the practice might be a little bit different. If a person is retired and has nothing much to do, the practice can be different, from my understanding, because it's very important to be mindful of what you are doing. If you are a working person, you don't have much time to practice daily, but give yourself some time to offer dana to the Sangha, or sometime in a week that you come to the temple and do circumambulation or anything. Practice in your house. You give yourself a time, maybe half an hour or an hour a day to do prayer. Sometimes that is very important to start short, not too long. If too long, then it will not continue. Sometimes today, if he woke up later, he will tell Buddha, today, oh, Tomorrow I do double. Then the son asked him to, Mama, I want to go to the zoo. Alamak. Then the next day, triple. Then it will go on. But a small practice, my Sifu always tell me that pay respect to the triple gem, Tisarana. At least remember to do Tisarana every day. Buddha Dhamma Sangha. Then remind yourself you are a Buddhist, respect the Sangha. This is what my Sifu, who ordained me, said to me. He said, just remember that to respect all Sanghas. My Sifu always say that, 对每一位师父要起恭敬心. To all monks, you have to have the respect. This is, and it's very simple. It's not that difficult. It doesn't consume much time. Just do this lah. Bante.
I think of course, not the old age. I mean, I fully supported the spiritual practices you should be done when you are physically as well as for the mentally when it's stronger. Then that habit continuously going on and going on, you are getting stronger and stronger. Physical weaknesses, your own practices, not the problems. And the physical weaknesses don't affect your mental to be weak as well. The physical aging don't affect your mind. When your mind to be alert, mind to be more fresh, it requires daily practice. If there someone say no time, I personally won't believe in such a things. Before you go to sleep, little time if you can take it. While on the bed, if you can reflect on the day and have a little metta on your mind, little loving kindness on your own thought, just radiate good thought into your own self as well as for the others. There's a wonderful contribution, wonderful habit. This habit, eventually, your mind getting stronger and stronger when you are aging, rather than spending how many hours in the computer, how many hours in the games, how many hours you are spending for the TV. A little time take off. Go into the inner practice. It'll habit. Eventually, you must so much enjoy the realizing, go into the deeper practices more and more, because that is required. Calm, peaceful environment and calmness maintained within your own mind. Little peaceful thought maintaining within certain time is a greatest healing method. It's a greatest healing method in your own mind. Just without practicing, you never ever able to realize. When you practice it, it's the greatest joy appear into your mind. That's the greatest habit you maintain practically daily. That's another wonderful thing. Not the knowledge, the required practice. I always mentioning, if you sutra knowledge, if you had the Abhidhamma knowledge, that's not important. Or your Sipu highly knowledgeable one, or your Rinpoche highly knowledgeable, or master highly knowledgeable. It's not important. Are you knowledgeable? Knowledgeable also not important. Are you practice? That's important. You can be scholar. So what? So many scholars can find everywhere. So many professors can find everywhere. The Buddhist professors are some certain university. They are not practitioners. They are not Buddhists as well. They are only teaching. But teaching your knowledge doesn't take into the next existence. Being doctor, you cannot be doctor next life. Being engineer, you cannot be engineer next life. Your practice is important. Being the Buddhist scholar, PhD holder, you cannot take your PhD, Buddhist PhD to the next existence. All had to remain here. Your practice, your great wisdom develop your own mind. purity on mind, he'll take into the next existence. That's important, each and every practitioners. But Malaysia, as Venerable mentioned, Malaysia is a wonderful place. We got exposed to Mahayana Theravada Vajrayana. Today we can be in the Mahayana temple. Tomorrow we can go to the Vajrayana center. Day after tomorrow we can go to the Theravada center. But not only that, even the other textbooks we can get the knowledge. There's a lot of teaching with the other faith as well. There's no harm. The Buddhists enjoy that freedom of moving, freedom of realization, freedom of the faith, not only among Buddhists. Even we can take the Bible, we can take Quran, we can take Bhagavad Gita, getting knowledge, no harm. That freedom, being the Buddhist, we enjoy. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief Venerable. It's past 9:30 now. I would like to seek the permission from three Venerables if we can extend, because we have another 6 more questions. And also from the floor, do you want to proceed or do you want to end now? Two questions. Important question. Thank you. The next question, is also directed to Holiness. I would like to invite Holiness to reply later on and elaborated by Chief Venerable and also Venerable Fa Kuang. The question reads as follows. At the death, or maybe I would rephrase it, at the time of death, if we are not confident with our Dharma practice, what should we practice at the moment of death to be reborn successfully to the Amitabha Pure Land? Yes, Holiness.
At the time of death, I think one of the important things is not to have attachment to your family or to your belongings. If you have attachment, then that attachment is the obstacle for you to take good rebel or to born in the Amitabha Pure Land. For example, if the bird's leg is tied by a stone, then that stone will make obstacle for the bird to fly in the sky. So similarly, this attachment to our family members and to our belongings or properties, etc., is like a tying stone on the bird's leg. That will make the obstacle for that person to go to the Pure Land, Amitabha's Pure Land. And also, it is said, at the time of death, one should have peaceful mind. One should have mind towards Dharma. If your mind is towards Dharma, and also if you think of Amitabha, if you pay respect and if you can generate faith in Amitabha, then it can help. And also in our tradition, there's a power practice, Amitabha power practice. Power means transferring the mind from the person's body to the Amitabha's heart, and then becoming inseparable. So if a qualified master can do the power practice for that person, and that can also help. And also from the dying person himself or herself also should visualize or should do visualization as much as he or she can, or just pray to Amitabha and Master, and through this it can help them to take rebirth in the Pure Land.
Thank you, Holiness. The last question, I think, is the most important one from Oh, if you wish to elaborate, it's okay. Please, Venerable Fakwang. Please.
To be born in a better place, also we need strong foundation. And in the Mahayana tradition, we have a text called Sanggoyiwan, the Tisarana, and the other in another form, 皈依佛，不堕地狱；皈依法，不堕恶鬼；皈依僧，不堕旁生。Take refuge under Buddha, you will not be born in the hell realm. Take refuge in the Dhamma, you will not born in the hungry ghost realm. Take refuge in the Sangha, you will not born in the animal realm. This is Tisarana in the Chinese Mahayana traditions. And although we all believe in Chinese Mahayana, we believe that Amitabha Pure Land. We also teach on Amitabha Pure Land. But the Pure Land has to start from this land, not the other land. How can we pure the other land when we cannot pure ourselves in this land? To pure ourselves as a Buddhist, we have to be near to Sangha. All the Sanghas plays very important in guiding us. So when we are near to our Sanghas, Sanghas will teach us how to contemplate. In the time of death, especially, we can experience that when we have severe pain. Sometimes when we have severe pain, something like a toothache, how we overcome the pain. Can that pain control us, or we understand the pain? Sometimes when there was once when I have a toothache, I went to the dentist, and 4 persons in front of me is queuing. But what I have in mind is, can I go first? But I forgot that the other 4 persons also have the ache. Sometimes when we put ourselves too much higher, actually we lose at the end. Actually, all sentient beings are the same. We want to be born in a better place, but we have to start from this place. And as I just said just now, we all must come together with all the blessing from the Mahasangha, from all traditions. It can free us from the bad realms. By respect, in the Lotus Sutra, it said that Isan Namo Fo Jigong Chen Fo Dao. By chanting Nama Buddhaya, you attain the Buddhahood. Then also stated in Lotus Sutra, 若有女人受持经典，临命终时，阿弥陀佛遗嘱慎重围绕其身。It said that a person who observe and practice a sutra, observe and practice is not by reading and showing to people that they are reading, but if they practice, when at the time of their death, Amitabha Buddha will appear and be around the person. He said, what, even if a woman, it was written that 若有女人 is even if as a woman, means that men also have the same opportunity, because during Buddha's time, ladies doesn't have same opportunity as men. So if ladies can do, men also can achieve. In Lotus Sutra, the 12th chapter, the Naga lady turned into a Buddhahood because of selflessness, practice of selflessness. So this is what I understand of Pure Land. Oh, sorry, Bante. Bante, can I have anything? Oh,
I think they mentioned, I think, asking about the how Dhamma practice of old age. Am I right? And I personally believe it. Don't wait until many of us, we think certain time period they allocated certain the youth time, middle age time, young time, as well as for the marriage time. Other later part, we say we will go into the very serious practice. How sure you are going to live until that? Not sure. Uncertainty in our life always there. Yesterday we were in Batankali. The incident happened. The 30 people name list they're given, I count 12 people, young 1-year-old child to 12 years old. And others, only one person, 64 years old. Rest of them all are 44 years, less than 44 years. See, from there, how sure we are going to live, whether 3 years or 4 years or 10 years or 20 years. Not sure. Then if you got opportunity, please seriously look into your day-to-day practice. That's important. You are nothing you are taking into the next existence, not to your wealth, not to your share certificate, not to your investment here and there. You can invest various part of the places. Then all the investment going to be remain, all the wealth going to be remain. What are they exactly taking? End of the day, old age. If you have a lot of fear, come the last moment of thought, very important. You can play the Tapechu, you can play the Lotus Sutra, you can play the Metta Sutta, you can play call the Kuan Yin, call the Buddha, call the other deities, call other Bodhisattvas. If you don't have anything to go any of the ways, as Venerable mentioned, the purity not there, you want to born the pure land. There's a required qualification to born pure land. Or other, you don't have the basic qualification, you want to born in the pure land. You are disqualified. Definitely have to remain here or in other realms. You get the 100,000 monks to chant the Amitabha. You can get the million devotees to do it. We have to collect our own self. That's important. If you are not purity within your own self, the Buddha or Kuan Yin cannot take you from this place to another place. Our salvation should come our own. Of course, Dhamma practice is very important. Don't wait until old age. You cannot move properly. You cannot sit properly. You cannot hear properly. Only that time you want to practice seriously. Automatically you become practice. Automatically you be quiet, calm, peaceful. Because you can't do it on the hospital bed. Crying, developing fear within your own mind. That miserable situation, you never ever able to practice. The tears dropping, no children coming, no friends visiting, but the innocent poor mother or father or elderly person, every moment, every second living with the fear. Tears are dropping. Then if we have a little practice, a habit of practice, that moment you're able to do well, very well, your old age when you are hospitalized. Rather than maintain fear, you can practice in the hospital as well. Then automatically there's a great healing process. Your mind be stronger, more positive. That is a healing your physical body as well. You experience it, you practice, then you know how wonderful it is. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chief. And we asked the last question. The reason we invite the three yanas today for this intrafaith is to ask a little bit of difficult question. We have the representative from the Mahayana, Venerable Fa Kuang, from Vajrayana, Holiness, the 42nd Sakya Trizin, and also Chief Venerable from the Theravada. The next question is from Brother Sharap Wong, rightly asked this question: how can the three traditions, namely the Mahayana, Theravada, and Vajrayana, work together for the betterment of the Dharma in general, especially for the future of Malaysia Buddhism? Thank you. I would like to invite Chief Venerable to start on this.
The tradition
Together.
together.
I repeat, how can the three traditions work together for the betterment of Dharma in general and for the future of Malaysian Buddhism?
Actually, that's not relevant in Malaysia. Malaysia, very good example now itself. If you go wherever Pakuan place on the November or any other Buddhist function, all three tradition going to be there. Any of the Buddhist centers in Malaysia, three tradition, any fundraising dinner or lunch, any puja organizing, either Tibetan school or Mahayana school or Theravada school, we can see all three traditions live, sitting equal. Is Malaysia not relevant that particular thing? Malaysia already practicing. Malaysia can give the message to the rest of the other world. How Malaysia practicing harmoniously, friendly, each other's. Malaysia doesn't have discrimination one another. Maybe one or two. You know, if the Theravada side, maybe one or two. Mahayana side, maybe one or two. Vajrayana, many of that. Because problem sometimes negative news demand high. So many good things people are doing, there's no demand. There's nobody interest. Any of the Lama, any of the Sipu, any of the monks do little mistake, highlight every corner in the YouTube, in the Facebook, and the various other places, in national news and international news. Number of Sangha members are doing a lot of wonderful services towards mankind. Not even any of the media coverage. You know, beauty of Malaysia, the spirit of Malaysia, Buddhist unity, Buddhist closeness, friendliness, maintaining as an example to rest of the world as well. Is Malaysia is a unique place. Malaysia is a place, many of that's why I mentioned earlier, you can learn the Tibetan texts, Theravada texts, as well as Mahayana texts. I think, I strongly believe it, Malaysia can be the very good example to many other parts of the world. Thank you.
Can we invite the next Venerable? How can three traditions work together for the betterment of the Dharma in general and for the future of Malaysian Buddhism in particular? We invite Your Holiness.
Yes, of course, all the three traditions can work together because our refuge, Buddha, Dharma, and the Sangha are same to all the three traditions. And the Four Noble Truth teachings are same. And also seeing samsara as a suffering, or seeing samsara in the nature of suffering, and wish to gain liberation or to have the thought of renunciation is same. And having sincere faith and devotion in the Buddha and believing in the Buddha's teachings are same. So basically, we all are same. And also in our Vajrayana teaching, it says, actually there are 14 root downfall. And in the 6th downfall, it says, so if we criticize other Buddhist schools, then it is a root downfall. So we should not, we are not allowed to criticize any other Buddhist schools. And also in one text, even it says, one should, so we even should not criticize non-Buddhist religions. So harmony is important, respecting each other is important, and unity in diversity is important. And also, as I said, we all have same fundamental teachings and practices. So it is important to work together, and it can work together, and we all have the ability to work together. And not only there's a ability, but we are already doing it in Malaysia, as Benda said. 3 traditions are getting together at different events. So that's a very good and wonderful gesture and sign. And especially as Banda said, in Malaysia, the 3 traditions are gathering together in different places for different events occasionally or quite frequently. So I think this is a true sign of, this is a true positive sign to move forward on the path. So we all have the same path, we all have the same goal, and we all have the same base. So we all have the same base, same path, and same result, final result, ultimate result. So basically it's same, but then there are differences, but basically it's same. The basic teachings are same.
Thank you, Your Holiness. So,
And,
so you,
and also whenever said, we all need to keep the 5 precepts or the Panchashila. So that's also same.
thank you, Your Holiness, for your excellent answer. So Triyanas for the betterment of Dharma. I mean, for
Ask the same question after I listened twice.
so maybe invite Venerable Fakwang Faster.
Actually, deep inside me, I hope that we have more sanghas in our country. If we have more sanghas living together, we propagate the teaching and it's more convincing. And if we can, from all tradition, in Malaysia, you don't find it elsewhere. We can see traditions in under one roof, all traditions come together. We have to teach our students that Buddhism is not tradition. Every teaching, every tradition, they have their own way of life. You cannot bring the Thai lifestyle to Malaysia, or you cannot bring another country lifestyle to Malaysia. We are all the same. Some people will tell the student that, oh, monks are not wearing shoe, or monks are not wearing this or doing that. That is not important teaching. Important teaching is what the Buddha taught us. The 4 Noble Truths has nothing to do with wearing or not wearing shoe. It's nothing to do with eating or not eating meat. It's not important. People ask me, "Is I 假把不？可以吃肉吗？ Can eat meat?" I reply, 假把也是呀。You eat meat, you will die? No. That once when I was in Thailand, an old monk told me one thing. He said, we are eating food. The food that can generate energy for us to practice. Then sometimes we Buddhists are so confused that they don't even know whether they are Buddhists or they are Jains. Jainism. They are Buddhists or they are Jainism. They say ahimsa, not killing. Then they say that when a mosquito bites you, let them bite. In Malaysia, holiness, don't let a mosquito bite you. You will die. Malaysia have very special mosquito. This mosquito, once they bite you, we will attain utmost suffering, not Buddhahood. So sometimes we have to be realistic. We all have certain visualizing that better place, but be realistic. Be in Malaysia or in any other country in the world, we Buddhists all must come together. We must teach our students to respect sanghas, no matter what tradition they are. When we see the lay people holding their palm to sangha, it actually encourages the sangha in another way to practice because of this. You don't have to say Omi Tofo or anything. You just, when you see a monk, you hold your palm. You see, when I say this, the phone ring. Somebody say yes, maybe. So, you know, connected, we are all connected, interconnected. So holding our palm together, we can chant in Pali, we can chant in Sanskrit, we can chant in Chinese, we can chant in any language, Tibetan or any other language, Mongolians, Japanese, Korean, any language. We have different tradition, different way of life. When we come together, we are all interconnected. It was written in the Lotus Sutra that those who read the sutra before will come back and read the sutra again. So we are all practitioners. We are all brothers and sisters. We are all together under this roof. And I'm very happy to be given this opportunity to be with Holiness. Even if maybe if I go to India, maybe not easy to see Holiness this close. And our Bhante Saranankaras, Bhante is very busy. He help anyone who needs help. Bhante is always working, helping people. And by the judge of the size, you know I'm the one who always sleep. I'm 165 kg. Height, 175. But the weight is 165. I'm not trying to be 175. But thank you all. But please remember that all traditions have different practice, but we have to accept one practice in our life and practice diligently, mindfully, following the step, each step at a time, and one day we will reach the goal. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Your Holiness. Thank you so much, Venerable Bhante. Thank you so much, Venerable Hakong Fasi. Now, later, we'll invite our director photo to a quick photo shot. May we invite 3 of Venerable to stand up. Then after this, 3 of you. Then after this, 大家可以供养结个缘. Then we are done for today. All right. Thank you so much. We hope that today is a history in making. 3 yanas come together.
Thank you.